Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to Answers Life. I hope everyone's doing great today. Welcome to Georgetown, Indiana. Georgetown, Indiana is a southern Indiana town that is located 14 miles northwest of Louisville, Kentucky. Now, I guess some people might consider Georgetown a Louisville suburb. Other people like myself, I just look at Georgetown as a small town that happens to be close to Louisville. So welcome to Georgetown, Indiana. The population here is 3,805 people. And this town is a growing town. I mean, this town, ever since they began to keep track of the census here, which I believe was back in 1900 or somewhere off around that time frame, 1910, I believe. There's only been 2 census years to where this town has lost people, but for the most part, this town has been growing in population. Now, the population as of the 2020 census, the population here is growing by 32.3%. That's significant. The population back during the 2010 census was 2,876 people. So this town has grown almost 1,000 people in 10 years, which is, for a town this size, that's pretty impressive. And this town was founded in 1833 by George Watts. The town, of course, is named after him, Georgetown. So maybe after you see this video, you might want to move here. And I would say this could be a good little town to reside in. Like if you need to be close to Louisville, maybe because of work, this town could be well, honestly, I think there's a lot of smaller towns that are close to Louisville that I would consider good places to live, provided that you can afford to live in those places. Now, honestly, for me, my favorite southern Indiana, it's not really a town, it's more of a small city, is Jeffersonville. If I was going to live in southern Indiana, my first choice would probably be Jeffersonville, to be honest. Because out of all the southern Indiana towns or cities, Jeffersonville is one of the more diverse cities. And the infrastructure is decent. Now, of course, you got New Albany. You also got Clarksville, but I'm not I got a video on this channel of New Albany, and I'm not the biggest fan of New Albany, Indiana. I don't mean no disrespect, I'm just not. I'd rather pay a little extra money and live in Jeffersonville. But for those of you that want to be close to the metro, but you don't really want to live in a city, so to speak, Georgetown, I mean, I guess some people would consider a community that's got almost 4,000 people a small city, which that's understandable. So for those of you that consider Georgetown a small city, which I guess technically it could be considered a small city. So for those of you that are looking into living in a, let's say, small city, Georgetown could be your new home. After you get done watching the video, you might like it, you might fall in love with it, who knows? So if you want to live here in Georgetown, as of right now, if you're looking to own your home, if if you don't mind doing a little bit of TLC to your home that you purchase, you can purchase a home here for as low as $120,000. But honestly, if you want to move here and you want to be well prepared to be able to purchase a home here, I would come here prepared to spend at least $225,000. Houses that are priced under $225,000, the majority of them are currently under contracts. So if you want to move here to Georgetown, I would say just to be on the safe side, be prepared to spend at least $225,000 for a home. Now, as I was scrolling through Realtor.com, I didn't really see any older homes that were on the market for sale. The majority of the homes here that are for sale are going to most likely be the newer homes. You know, those homes that they throw up overnight and then a good tornado storm will flatten your house like a pancake. Those are the houses that are currently for sale for the most part. Now, as I've always told you, and I'll tell you again, I don't recommend new construction at all. They're garbage. They're built like shit. But if you insist on buying new construction, do your due diligence. Hire a good home inspector that knows what the hell they're doing. And for the sake of everything that's important in your life, for your own sake, don't go by your realtor's recommendations when it comes to hiring a home inspector, which is a mistake that many first-time home buyers will typically make. Don't make that mistake. Hire your own home inspector and make sure that person is seasoned, they got some experience, and like I said, they know what the hell they're doing. So if you're looking to rent, however, rent prices, the median rent prices are going from $730 to $1,500 a month. And if you got little ones and you're looking to move here to Georgetown, the school system here is pretty good. I mean, the school system scores a grade of an A minus. Pretty impressive if you ask me. Now, the crime here is fairly low for property crime. The national average for property crime is 19 out of 1,000 people. 19 people will be a victim of property crime. That's national average. Now, the property crime here in Georgetown is only 5.6 people out of 1,000 people will become a victim of property crime. And the most common type of property crime to occur here is theft. Now, the violent crime numbers here are also remarkably low. Now, for violent crime, the national average for violent crime is for every 1,000 people, 3.6 people will most likely become a victim of some kind of violent crime. Here in Georgetown, for every 1,000 people, only 1.4 people will most likely be a victim of violent crime. And the two most common type of violent crimes here is assault. And for assault, you'll have 0.7 out of 1,000 people that will be a victim of assault. And the other type of crime here that's second in line for the most common type of violent crime here is grape. And for grape, 0.5 people out of 1,000 people will become a victim of grape. So crime here is very low, and this town or small city It's a relatively quiet place. Not a whole lot of commotion around here. And like I said, you're very close to Louisville. You're practically down the street from New Albany. So whatever amenities that you can't find here in Georgetown, you can always go down the street to New Albany, or you can drive into Louisville. So this small city is very conveniently located. Now we're gonna go over to Niche, and we're gonna read some reviews about this city. Oh, and for those of you that want to know the racial demographics of the city, this city is predominantly white. When I say predominantly white, I'm talking over 97% white. So that's the racial demographics of the city, 97% white. Okay, now out of 11 reviews, this city scores a 3.5 out of a 5-star rate. So I'm gonna I'm gonna just start reading. How about that? Now this first one is a 5-star, and it reads, this was written 3 months ago. I moved to Georgetown, Indiana when I was 5 years old. We lived in Texas for 5 years prior to moving to Indiana. My mother is from Kentucky and my father is from South Carolina. We moved from Kentucky to Texas for my mother's job. Georgetown is a great small town within driving to a larger city. That's Louisville, Kentucky. It's beautiful and very safe. I loved all my schools that I went to. Got a great education, good restaurants and shopping nearby, and a very safe area for kids. I'm currently getting ready to attend Indiana University in Bloomington in the fall of 2025 to study secondary education. Okay, I'm going to read you another 5-star written March of 2021. I love the town of Georgetown. It's within a great school system. It's located just across the river from Louisville, Kentucky, and still has a country feel to it. Very true. It really does have that small town country feel. And it is a beautiful place. Very true. Unfortunately, the development is growing, which does take away from the nice open fields we used to have. And I hope we plateau more. I don't know what they mean by that. I'm not sure what they mean. I'm not even going to attempt it. I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to read one more 5-star. This review was written November of 2019. It's a 5-star. Great family town, lots of subdivisions with lots of kids. Great world, small town, family friendly. Short 20-minute drive to downtown Louisville. Close, about 10 minutes away from New Albany in restaurants. Great school district. Yeah, I'm gonna read it some 4 stars. This first one is a 4-star. It was written March of 2022. Georgetown offers a friendly community that anyone can find a home in. Although the community is fairly spread out, there is many activities to participate in, as well as good food and places to enjoy time with others. All in all, living in Georgetown is a decision no person would regret. And I can see that. I mean, Georgetown does seem like a beautiful small city. It does. Okay, here's another one. 4-star, written November 2021. Wonderful, beautiful, boring small town. Conveniently placed. Shops, lovely people, a good church offering if that's your calling. Adjacent to, if not encompassing fantastic schooling system. Overall, just a good place for opportunity. If your desire is to fall asleep on a crisp, temperate summer night with I'm not sure what this person's trying to say. If your desire is to fall asleep on a crisp, temperate summer night with sounds of not cars and people, but grasshoppers and cicadas, risking you to sleep, Georgetown will fulfill with desired snuggling. Also, the fact that the town encompasses the rarity that is a drive-in movie theater cannot be understated. A fantastic place to grow up and help others grow up. Okay. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to read one more 4-star, written December of 2020. Georgetown is a very nice place to live. There's not really any major crimes, and the public facilities are kept very clean as well. Okay, I'm going to read some 3 stars now. This first one was written August of 2022, 3-star. Great place to go to K through 12 in. Not as much unless you're raising kids in K through 12. Very ordinary suburbs, not a lot going on ever, but has a bit of a small town feel despite being close to Louisville. Not a ton of commuters. And even to this day, I noticed that myself. Georgetown, for the most part, is not that busy of a community. Very true. Okay, another 3-star, written September of 2020. It is a sleepy little town. It is close to some of the more major areas. There are plenty of good restaurants nearby, but there aren't many other type of places. Good schools are nearby, and the houses are nice. Yeah, I would say there are a lot of nice houses out here. Already, I'm going to read a couple of 2-star reviews. This first one was written June of 2018. It's an older one. And then the one I'm going to read after that is even older. It was written September of 2014. So I'm not sure. Let's see what they got to say. There is not much to do here. It is very small, not very diverse town. A good distance from all of my friends. Sounds like a younger person wrote this review. There aren't many sidewalks, so it is difficult to take a walk without worrying about getting hit by a car. I also don't like the weather, but that goes for anywhere in the South. I really hate the heat. Okay, I guess they consider Southern Indiana the South. Interesting. Okay, the other 2-star review reads as follows. You must travel to Louisville, Kentucky to find employment, and the commute is a bear. And well, I can kind of see that because, not to be disrespectful, but I remember mean, at this point, I remember 20 years or so ago, back when I used to live in Louisville, Kentucky. I lived in Louisville, Kentucky from 2003 to 2005. And it seemed like almost every other day that I was commuting to work, there was always some kind of a traffic accident. It got to the point where I had to leave at least 15 minutes. I had to add an additional 15 minutes to my commute, just in case there was an accident. So I will say people in Kentucky can't drive worth a shit. Now, I don't know if it's that I've gotten older and my driving is a little different than what it used to be when I was younger, but it seemed like back in the 2000s, people in Kentucky just couldn't drive. I mean, every other time I turn around, there's always an accident. But I noticed in more recent years, when I drive through Kentucky, I don't see quite as many accidents, and people seem to know how to drive a little better. So I don't know whether it's just that my driving habits have changed as I got older or what. But yeah, sometimes even if you're only 10, 15 minutes away from Louisville, depending on what time of the day you have to drive into Louisville or you're driving out of Louisville, it could be a bit of the traffic could be a beer. It really could, especially if there's an accident. Alright folks, that's going to do it for the commentary. I would love for you guys to stick around and watch the rest of the video. Hopefully you guys got something out of the commentary. Hopefully you enjoyed the video today. And Georgetown is a beautiful town, like many towns of southern Indiana are beautiful. I mean, I will say the housing prices out here, in my humble opinion, are a little pricey, but I guess that goes with being this close to Louisville. I mean, honestly, for me, if I had the money to live out here, I don't think I would, because like I told you guys before, when it comes to Indiana, I prefer to be into either Indianapolis or Fort Wayne. I mean, Louisville, Kentucky's economy, it's up and down. I mean, they got, Louisville, Kentucky, I mean, they got spurts to where the economy is okay, but then they got times to where the economy is not so good. It's real crappy. I mean, not as bad as the economy of the Deep South, but not as good compared to other larger cities throughout the Midwest. So yeah, if I were to, like I said, I mean, I think Georgetown is a beautiful town, nice and clean, a bit pricey in my opinion. But yeah, if you're looking at living close to Louisville, and you're looking for, I guess, that mixture of suburbia / small town feel, then Georgetown, Indiana definitely would be your place. And of course, I've got a lot of other southern Indiana towns on this channel you can watch as well that are also close to Louisville, Kentucky. Alright folks, stay blessed. Catch you guys on the next one.